All right, Daddy's gonna go bowling today. All right? Give me down.
PBA Hall of Famer Parker Bone III and family have rolled into Baltimore seeking their second title in as many weeks. But fellow southpaw Rhino Page has refound his rookie stroke, and the Jayhawk awaits as the #1 seed at today's Lumber Liquidators Shark Championship. Beautiful day in Baltimore, Maryland, as we welcome you to ESPN's presentation of the Lumber Liquidators PBA Tour. We are inside AMF Country Club Lanes here in Baltimore for the Lumber Liquidators Shark Championship. And we kick off the final PBA event of 2009 with a touch of history and a touch of class. 34-time titleist and 1987 Hall of Fame inductee Mark Robb drops them all with the ceremonial first ball. Mark will join us live in the booth later in the show. And we welcome you to the broadcast. I'm Rob Stone. Our stockings are stuffed with storylines today. You have a heavy lefty show, much like we saw last week. You have reigning Rookie of the Year Rhino Page back after an early sophomore slump. And you have Carolyn Doran-Ballard and Parker Bone III both looking for back-to-back titles, something my partner, Randy Peterson, achieved back in 1987. But Randy, the story is the Big Nasty. Wes Malott is having an outstanding season.
The first word that comes to mind when you talk about Wes is dominance. He's made 4 out of 5 shows on the named oil patterns, which is really showing off his versatility, and he's at the top of the list for the Player of the Year race. But in order for him to capture his second title today, he's going to have to get through a slew of left-handers, Rob, starting with Patrick Allen. Patrick Allen's making back-to-back shows and is looking to repeat in this building. He won last year's event here, beating Wes Malott. He'll have to get by red-hot Parker Bone III, who won last week's event. Parker's bowling with a chip on his shoulder these days. The Hall of Famer goes for his 33rd win.
Your #2 seed, Wes Malott, who's made the TV show every other week this season. Today he eyes tour title #5. And your #1 seed, hard-throwing 25-year-old from Topeka, Kansas, Rhino Page. And Rhino Page, your #1 seed. We begin the men's side of the bracket with an all-lefty showdown as Patrick Allen takes on Parker Bone III. But we begin our broadcast with the PBA Women's Series. #1 seed, Carolyn Doran-Ballard versus #2 seed, Jody Wessner. This the 5th of 7 PBA Women's Series events, which is sponsored by the United States Bowling Congress, the USBC. And Carolyn Doran-Ballard, a woeful start to the season, has really tore it up the last 3 weeks. 2 in particular. She won last week, and here she is going to finish first or second, and she's going to start first. 44-year-old from just outside of Fort Worth. Finds the pocket early, knocks them all down.
And Rob, she really dominated the Women's Series last season. First in points, first in earnings, and first in average.
It was Michelle Feldman who got off to an early start this season, who was really the dominant bowler in the PBA Women's Series. Since then, Carolyn Doran-Ballard has really picked it up. Here's Jody Wessner from just outside of Toledo. Two for 2. That's a much more focused, relaxed Jody Wessner than we saw a couple weeks ago in Hammond, Indiana, when she made her first televised appearance.
And you can see that Carolyn Doran-Ballard averaged about 6 pins a game more than Jody. But look at Jody's match play record. And when you have a match play format, you get 30 bonus points for winning a match, and that's why Jody made the show. Very, very good match play, and this is a 1-game match.
And again, the women starting off our broadcast, the men after this.
Dialed in. And Rob, I got to tell you, watching the women in practice, I like Jody's ball reaction better than I did Carolyn's because there's a little bit more rotation, and that gets the ball to flip a little bit more down the back part of the lane on this very slick shark pattern.
I want to remind you, the men's begin their step ladder tournament right after this match, and we begin with the all-lefty showdown. Parker Bone III versus Patrick Allen. This, though, is Carolyn Doran-Ballard looking for her second title in as many weeks. 7. That one a pretty straight approach.
Yeah, and you can see just the lack of down lane ball motion, and it's because Carolyn doesn't hook it a lot. She doesn't have a lot of revolutions, and her ball roll is very much end over end, therefore not covering a lot of ground in the back part of the lane.
Get aggressive.
So Ballard remains clean so far.
Jackson 5, for God's sake.
Remember, she used to be a DJ in her collegiate days. She's calling out the Jackson 5 there in the background. She's still got the ear for the tunes. Yeah, the second week in a row, we're bringing up music. There will be no further air supply comments this week, though, okay?
You got it.
I'm talking to you, Mr. Howard.
I'm with you, pal.
Back on the strike train for CDB.
Beautiful approach there. Look at the great balance. Eyes on target. This ball's high flush. And for Carolyn's pin carry to be at a high percentage, she's going to have to throw a lot of shots right there, real high in the 1-3 pocket.
Strikes for Westner so far.
And again, Rob, you can see that a little bit more ball rotation, a little bit more side roll gets her ball to kick just a little bit more down the lane, thus increasing her pin carry.
And you had a quick cutaway there in the all-red Ohio outfit of Aaron Hawkins. There he is. I can't tell. You think he's from Ohio? Let's see, a Reds pullover, Buckeyes lid. That is Jody's fiance. We've got a good fiance story coming up here in a second.
Can't wait.
Hambone! Westner bowling a perfect game, waiting in the wings. The lefty. Patrick Allen, who won here in Baltimore last year. He takes on Parker Bone III, who won last week.
The Lumber Liquidators PBA Tour on ESPN is brought to you by CLR. CLR. All kinds of dirty, one kind of clean. By Lumber Liquidators. Hardwood flooring for less. By Motel 6, the official lodging partner of the PBA. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save 15% on your car insurance. Visit geico.com.